I don't have a problem with the WNBA players asking for a raise. The WNBA is on a hot streak. I don't care about the previous 24, 25 years. As an investment, it's starting to pay off. And so this week they wore T-shirts saying, making a statement, you better pay us. But instead of just leaving it at that, Kelsey Plum for LA had to take a dig at Caitlin Clark.
Colin Cowherd just put Kelsey Plum in her place, and honestly, it was about time someone said it. While Caitlin Clark is literally transforming the WNBA from a struggling league into a money-making machine, Plum decided to throw shade at the one person responsible for their newfound success. Cowherd didn't hold back, and what he revealed about the jealousy brewing in the WNBA will shock you. So what did Cowherd really say? And how is he comparing Caitlin Clark to his royal heiress himself, Michael Jordan? If you support Caitlin, then comment Golden Goose. Let's go.
The t-shirt, just United Front, was determined this morning that we had a meeting for. And, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that.
Oh, boy.
You want to know just how dramatic this transformation has been? Picture this. For over 2 decades, WNBA players were flying budget airlines where they had to pay for water. These women were grinding through seasons in empty arenas, playing for teams that were losing money year after year. The merchandise sales were so low that most fans couldn't even find a jersey to buy if they wanted one.
But why do you take a shot at the Golden Goose, Caitlin Clark? You guys were flying before she arrived on one of those airlines that made you pay for a cup of water. One of those airlines that is the planes are the color of a highlighter. Now you're flying private. Okay, if you're in a band and you're staying at the Motel 6 and you add a band member and now you're at the Ritz-Carlton, keep your issues to yourself. All right? You went from a Motel 6 in a sketchy part of town to a Four Seasons in the shopping district. Stop talking.
Then Caitlin Clark showed up, and everything changed overnight. We're talking about a 500% increase in merchandise sales. 500%. Attendance jumped 40% across the league, with some cities completely selling out games that used to have maybe a few thousand people scattered around massive arenas. Franchises that were hemorrhaging money suddenly became profitable businesses. The Indiana Fever went from being one of the league's biggest financial disasters to having a waiting list for season tickets.
I don't mind the t-shirts. I think you have leverage. I think you deserve more than 9%. But it's just misstep after misstep. It's time to grow up, girls. Like fast. Like this is the player that got you off the airline that was bright yellow. Right? She got you an upgrade to a better hotel as a band member.
But here's what really gets Cowherd fired up. These same players who were scraping by on budget flights are now enjoying private jets, better hotels, and increased salaries. The league's financial health improved so dramatically that players are experiencing luxuries they never dreamed of just 2 seasons ago. Yet some veterans are still complaining about the very person who made it all possible.
I think they deserve a big raise, maybe not 50% of revenues, because NBA stars, there's a lot of them, and they move the needle. The WNBA stars, well, there's one that moves the needle. And here's the other thing to remember. Caitlin Clark's already rich. She made $11 million this year alone in endorsements off the court. So regardless of how these negotiations go, she's set. Nobody else is, right? So when somebody joins the band and everything gets upgraded, just be happy.
Let's be real about what happened here. Clark single-handedly turned this league from a charity case into a legitimate business. The TV ratings spike whenever she plays. Sponsors are throwing money at the WNBA because they know she brings eyeballs. Social media engagement has exploded. Young girls are buying Clark jerseys faster than they can manufacture them. The ripple effect touches every single player in that league, whether they want to admit it or not. This is where Cowherd's frustration reaches its peak. He watched this transformation happen in real time, and he can't understand why some players are biting the hand that feeds them. When you're finally winning after decades of struggle, Why would you complain about the person responsible for that success?
I know you wanted your song to be the first one they played. You wanted to make up the set. But I mean, it's not the t-shirts. You're going to do fine. I'd scale back on the Caitlin Clark angst.
Cowherd put it perfectly when he compared the league's transformation to going from a Motel 6 in a sketchy part of town to a Four Seasons in the shopping district. That quote captures everything about what Clark has done for the WNBA. The accommodations, the treatment, the financial security, the respect from mainstream sports media. Everything upgraded because one player brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball. Yet some veteran players remain stuck in the old mindset, acting like nothing has changed. They're living in Four Seasons luxury while complaining about the person who got them out of the Motel 6. The WNBA All-Star voting results revealed something ugly that Cowherd couldn't ignore anymore. The way All-Star voting works is pretty straightforward. Fans vote for their favorites, coaches pick reserves, and players vote for who they think deserves recognition. This matters because All-Star selections directly impact endorsement deals, legacy building, and how history remembers these players. For young players especially, making the All-Star team validates their impact and sets them up for bigger opportunities.
Caitlin Clark finished 9th in player voting. In fact, she finished behind one of her own teammates in player voting for the All-Star game. The pettiness has no bounds. But it's interesting, for years, the WNBA players were pointing fingers. They were saying people are sexist, the media is sexist, we're not being promoted, we're underappreciated. And then they get the golden goose and they don't like what it looks like.
So where did the fans rank Caitlin Clark? First among guards. Where did her fellow players rank her? 9th. 9th. The league's biggest draw, the person responsible for packed arenas and record merchandise sales, got ranked 9th by the same players benefiting from her success. This wasn't close voting either. The gap between fan support and player recognition was massive.
Iowa girl, Indiana girl. Well, who knows, and I've said this for years, when the wave hits, ride it. You don't know what it looks like. Don't fight it. When Puka Nacua went in the 5th round of the Rams and they suddenly in camp went, oh, we just found a new number 1 receiver. He's better than Cooper Kupp. They didn't fight it. Did you think when you watched Tom Brady at the Combine, that looked like the GOAT? They had just signed Drew Bledsoe to a $103 million contract. That was a lot of money back then. And then a year in, they're like, we're going to go with Brady. They didn't fight it.
Let's be real about what this ranking actually means. It had nothing to do with basketball performance. Clark was putting up impressive numbers, breaking records left and right. The statistics supported all-star recognition. This was about something else entirely, something much more personal. Think about other young sensations in sports history. When LeBron James burst onto the scene, veteran players recognized his talent even if they didn't love the attention he got. When Tiger Woods dominated golf as a young player, the tour veterans might not have liked being overshadowed, but they respected what he brought to the sport. The Clark situation feels different because the resistance seems so obvious and petty. Cowherd didn't hold back when he saw these voting results. He called it exactly what it was: pettiness. He pointed out how some WNBA players were showing a complete lack of appreciation for the person who transformed their entire league. Instead of embracing what he called the golden goose, these players were actively working against their own interests.
You know, there's obviously a racial component here. The WNBA players, they just don't like what the wave looks like. They wanted to fly private. They wanted to be more popular. They wanted a better deal in the CBA, which they'll get. They wanted sold out arenas. They got it. They don't necessarily think it should be this. But again, you can't fight it. You just never know what success looks like.
Here's what makes this even more frustrating. Players like Aja Wilson and Kelsey Plum have benefited directly from Clark's popularity. Their own profiles have grown because more people are paying attention to the WNBA. Their salaries and working conditions improved because Clark brought revenue to the league. Yet when it came time to show professional respect through all-star voting, they ranked her below players with far less impact.
Every company in the country would love to go viral every day for free marketing. If they knew how to do it, they'd all be viral every day. Like, you just don't know. Is it authentic? It touches people. There's a tentacle of emotion involved, and suddenly some small town kid goes viral, or a singing frog. Who knows? I wouldn't have guessed that Caitlin Clark would be this transformative. I wouldn't have guessed Tom Brady would be the GOAT. Don't fight it. The wave, the meteor, doesn't necessarily look like you think it's going to look.
This voting controversy connects perfectly to what we've seen on the court all season. The hard fouls, the unnecessary contact, the obvious targeting, it all stems from the same place. Some veteran players can't handle that a sophomore changed everything they thought they knew about their league. They're taking out their frustration in all-star voting, and during games, punishing Clark for their own success.
People are saying, hey man, this league has never made money. It's an investment. It's now going to make money. And by the way, this is the least profitable, arguably. It'll be over the next 10 years. It's only going to get more profitable as women's basketball gets better, as the Caitlin Clark momentum train gets bigger. I mean, this year, she's not playing well. She's hurt. She's not there for all the games. So this is actually not as great as it could be. Like Michael Jordan, hurt year 2, next 12 years were legendary. That's what it's going to be.
Cowherd dropped a comparison that makes the Clark situation crystal clear, but it's one that makes some people uncomfortable. Both Clark and Jordan arrived as flashy rookies who completely changed their leagues overnight. Jordan transformed the NBA into a global phenomenon, and Clark is doing the same thing for the WNBA right now. The parallel is so obvious that you wonder why more people aren't talking about it.
Caitlin Clark's gotten really good really fast. It's like the end of year 1 for Michael Jordan or year 3 for Michael Jordan. She's gotten really good really fast. And you got to put a body on her, or you got to double team her, or she's going to embarrass you. She's shooting 33-footers. And what happened last night's a byproduct of that. This is what happened to MJ. She's number 1 and 2 in every offensive stat. She's hitting more threes this season than Steph Curry did in his first MVP season, and her game embarrasses you.
The physical punishment both players endured tells the whole story. Jordan faced the infamous Jordan rules from the Detroit Pistons, designed specifically to wear him down through aggressive contact. Clark has dealt with similar targeting all season long. Officials struggled to protect Jordan in his early years, just like they're struggling with Clark now. Cowherd pointed out that officials are letting a lot of stuff go that almost feels inappropriate regarding Clark's treatment on court.
It's a little bad boys Pistons with MJ. For the record, Caitlin Clark got up. She wasn't hurt. She did more trash talking. She hit more threes. She remained remarkable, just like all the great. You know, if you respect women, stop pandering. She's tough. She's feisty. She likes to taunt and talk. And nobody quite knows what the hell to do.
Remember when Clark got injured and had to miss a game? That's exactly what happened with Jordan early in his career when teams tried to intimidate him physically. The officiating couldn't keep up with what these generational talents brought to their leagues. Both leagues had to figure out how to protect their biggest stars while still allowing competitive basketball.
Steph Curry's first couple years in the league. Thank God for Draymond Green. And by the way, this league, they knew what they were getting into, right? Like, and I'll get to this in a second, but they brought Sophie Cunningham over in a trade for a reason. She's the youngest black belt in the state of Missouri's history, 6 years old. They brought her over to protect Caitlin Clark because they saw this puppy coming. The league doesn't quite know what to do, but the Fever did. And so, again, you got to put a body on her. You got to get physical.
You know what both teams did? They brought in enforcers. The Chicago Bulls got Charles Oakley to protect Jordan. The Indiana Fever acquired Sophie Cunningham to do the same for Clark. Cowherd stated that the Fever, like the Bulls, understood they had to protect their star. This isn't coincidence. It's smart business when you have a player who transforms everything.
If you go look at the history of basketball, high school, college, WNBA, NBA, if there's an offensive player and they're humiliating you, Steph, Shaq, MJ, Caitlin, what do? You can't trap her. She'll dribble through it. You got to put a body on her. You got to double team her. You try to get in her head with trash talking. It's not working at all. It's the ultimate compliment, in my opinion.
The merchandise and TV ratings tell an identical story. Cowherd described Clark as a dynastic TV rating changer, the same phrase used for Jordan during his rookie impact. Both players became must-watch television immediately. The WNBA is seeing the same surge in viewership and merchandise sales that the NBA experienced when Jordan arrived. Here's what makes this comparison uncomfortable for some people. Both Jordan and Clark faced serious resentment from veteran players who felt overshadowed by the newcomers. Some WNBA players don't like the attention Clark receives, just like NBA veterans initially resented Jordan's rapid rise. The All-Star voting controversy proves this resentment is real and ongoing.
And so the first year Caitlin Clark was in the WNBA, they were hazing her. They're not hazing her anymore. They're just trying to figure out how the hell to stop her. Okay, it's not hazing. It's, all right, traps, pressure. So the Fever saw it coming. They went and got Sophie Cunningham, 6-year-old black belt. This is what the Bulls did with Charles Oakley to protect Michael Jordan.
The college popularity factor connects everything perfectly. Jordan's North Carolina fame translated into NBA transformation. Clark's Iowa stardom is doing the same for the WNBA. Both players brought massive college fan bases into professional basketball, changing the entire landscape of their leagues. This comparison makes Cowherd confident that Clark will emerge stronger from current challenges. He believes this will only make Caitlin Clark a better player, just like the early struggles made Jordan unstoppable later. The WNBA's future depends on embracing this transformation rather than fighting it.
Caitlin Clark now is like kerosene to the physicality flame. So you have physicality in this league, and now you get this flashy player, and they don't know how to officiate her, they don't know how to defend her. But I would say, when I hear this, Colin, the WNBA, Colin, has got to do something. Yes, they do. Understand, this is the arc of a new superstar in your league. It'll start with hazing, it'll go to physicality, it'll go to flagrants, it may go to technicals. You'll eventually have to get a Sophie Cunningham or a Charles Oakley. I mean, Wayne Gretzky did this for years. They figured it out in hockey. How do you stop Gretzky? Oh, we can't. How do you stop MJ? We can't. How do you stop Caitlin Clark? You guys understand, this is the worst she'll ever be. She's getting better, and they can't stop her.
Cowherd's final prediction dropped like a hammer. The WNBA's future runs through Caitlin Clark, whether the jealous veterans like it or not. Clark's second season trajectory will reshape how this entire league operates. The momentum is building, and Cowherd sees the WNBA finally turning that financial corner they've been chasing for decades. This isn't just about one player anymore. This is about a complete transformation of women's basketball. Here's the choice facing veteran players right now. You can either embrace Clark's wave or watch it sweep past you. The financial reality makes this crystal clear. TV deals, sponsorship money, and those salary increases everyone wants? They all depend on Clark's continued success and the league's ability to capitalize on her popularity. Cowherd pointed out that the league is on a hot streak, and the momentum is really good. Miss this opportunity, and you might not get another one like it.
But intensity and heat create steel. This will only make Caitlin Clark a better player. It will only make the Fever more championship ready. And the Indiana fans, good for you. You're going to have the great watch of the next 15 years because they're never trading her. She's the Steph Curry. They're never trading her.
Look at how other sports leagues handled similar situations. When generational talents emerged, some veterans adapted and thrived alongside them. Others resisted and got left behind. The smart players recognize what's happening and position themselves accordingly. That's exactly what players like Lexi Hull, Sophie Cunningham, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston have done. They've embraced playing alongside Clark instead of fighting against her success. They supported Clark during her struggles, celebrated her victories, and built chemistry that benefits everyone. These players will be remembered as part of Clark's rise, not obstacles to it. They chose collaboration over competition, and their careers will benefit for years to come. What does 2025 look like if the league fully commits to the Clark era? Picture sold-out arenas becoming the norm, not the exception. Sponsorship deals that actually move the needle financially. Young girls wearing WNBA jerseys to school because their heroes play professional basketball. Television ratings that make networks fight for broadcasting rights. This is the potential Cowherd sees if everyone gets on board.
Now, Caitlin Clark is obviously the jet fuel. Half the audience goes when she's not there, but that's okay. It took Conor McGregor to the UFC and John Jones. It sometimes in emerging leagues, it takes a superstar. And now, America is all into UFC. But it does take sometimes these special athletes. And it can get really, really bumpy.
But what happens with continued resistance? The league splits into two camps, those riding the Clark wave to success and those stubbornly fighting against their own prosperity. The choice seems obvious, yet some players keep making it harder than it needs to be. Cowherd delivered his boldest statement about why Clark will define the next decade regardless of internal politics. The numbers don't lie, the fan engagement speaks for itself, and the financial transformation is already happening. Whether veteran players accept it or not, Clark has become the face of women's basketball. The league can either embrace this reality and prosper together, or watch some players get left behind while others thrive alongside the superstar who changed everything. The transformation is happening with or without everyone's blessing. Cowherd's message is simple. Stop biting the hand that feeds you and start appreciating the golden goose. The WNBA is experiencing unprecedented growth, and fighting against that success makes zero sense. You want to support real change in women's basketball? Back Caitlin Clark and the players smart enough to embrace this transformation like Lexi Hull, Aaliyah Boston, Sophie Cunningham, and Kelsey Mitchell. These players understand what's happening and they're positioning themselves for long-term success. 2025 could be the year the WNBA finally breaks through to mainstream sports consciousness if everyone stops fighting each other and starts working together. If you support Caitlin, then comment Golden Goose, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.